So
Sounds good.
Invicara is our next presentation. In 2008, the research firm Gartner identified digital twins as the top strategic technology trend, and for good reason. For commercial real estate developers and owners, digital twins of your building can reduce construction and operation costs, deliver smoother handovers, and they can serve as a foundation for the digital transformation of your business. Marty Chobat, Vice President of Invicara, is here to show us how. So thank you, Marty. Take it away.
All right. Thanks for that, Bethany. Can you hear me okay?
Sounds good and looks good.
All right, great. Hi, everyone. This is Marty Chobat with Invicara. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate your time, and hopefully it'll be time well spent for you. What I will be talking about today is how Invicara is helping its clients leverage building information to transform their businesses. And we're talking about design and construction, during operations. We're going to take a quick look at all of Invicara's solutions and then drill down a little bit deeper. For the demo portion today, we'll pick one, and then we'll do a deeper dive on how we use digital twins to facilitate handover of new developments into operations. So before we get started, just say a few words about the idea of digital transformation. It's a massive topic in the industry right now. We're hearing about it. I heard a lot about it at RealComm a couple of weeks ago, a lot of buzz about it. And there's a lot there to talk about, but what does it really mean and why does it matter to you as a CRE professional? Some of the things that we're hearing from our clients, number one, it's going to be critical for developers and owners to stay competitive. Digitalization, your competitors, your investors, your tenants, everyone is becoming more digitally savvy, right? And it's just not an option to stand still. Secondly, when you look at digital transformation, the opportunities around this are just amazing. And we're talking about streamlining capital project delivery, engaging with your prospective or your current tenants, everything to optimizing building performance and reducing your OpEx spend. There's just a ton of possibilities. But no matter what you are going after, regardless of what your digital transformation initiatives are, one thing is certain: you're going to need good information about the buildings in your portfolio. Data is the fuel for digital transformation. And that's where Invicara comes in. So we are laser focused on helping you get the data that you need about your buildings to drive your digital transformation initiatives. So if you need building information, why would you work with us? Invicara is unique, I think, in that we bring together everything you need to be successful. Okay, we're not just consultants that are going to give you some great ideas, put together a strategy, throw a document over the wall, shake your hand, and walk away. We're not just a technology company that's going to give you a set of tools and maybe help configure them a little bit and then walk away and expect you to do the heavy lifting. So we really take ownership of the problem, your challenges, and help you deliver results. So let's break that down a little bit. From a strategy point of view, we have consultants with dozens of years of experience in design, construction, operations, managing information throughout every phase of the building's life cycle. They can provide strategic guidance, help you identify opportunities for digitalization, and put together a very comprehensive and actionable plan to go after those opportunities. From a technology point of view, we bring to the table a very flexible platform, and you'll see that in more detail during the demo portion, that helps us build tailored solutions to support those strategic goals. So not out-of-the-box software, but really a tailored solution that is focused on what you want to achieve. And then lastly, our consultants are there for you to fill any gaps, either in your project teams during design, construction, TI, or your internal teams during operations, to make sure you get the information and the results that you need. So not only will we bring you the tools, but we'll help you manage your information, keep the information current, get everything going, and really have you enjoy the benefits of all that data. So all about results. And speaking of results, here's just a handful of clients that we've worked with over the past few years. So we're a relatively young company, but we have a global footprint, and we've worked across a wide range of owner types, building types, properties. Obviously, owners of commercial real estate are a big part of our clientele. Also, healthcare owners, research facilities, aviation, data centers. I mean, you name it, we've done it probably. As you'll see on the slide here with some of these logos, we've also worked with a number of leading design and construction firms. And just as we want you guys to be successful, we want them to be successful if they're involved in a project for you and helping you get a building, getting building information from the project. So we want to help them be more efficient and profitable in delivering data to you as their client. Okay, so enough about Invicara. Let's dig into what a digital twin really is. Again, just got back from Realcomm, and there was a lot of talk about digital transformation, digital twins. And one of the running jokes at the conference was that if you ask 5 different people what a digital twin is, you get 10 different answers, right? So there's a lot of different perspectives, and that's good. None of them are necessarily wrong. But there's also a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding about what a digital twin is and what it can do. So let me give you our perspective. First of all, and this is a fairly standard definition, I think, regardless of who you speak to, but as a starting point, it's a virtual building, right? It's an information model. It's loaded with data, documents, and it is a virtual copy of a physical building. That is what a digital twin is. Now, from our perspective, this has to start with getting the critical information you need to achieve your strategic objectives. So we help you gather things like the data, the documents, the building models and plans, whatever's available, and we bring all that together in our cloud-based platform to create a virtual copy, a data-rich virtual copy of your building. Next, there's the integration piece. And we are able to integrate data across multiple systems. We can extract data from existing systems. We can provide data to other systems to help them do their job. So really becoming sort of a data hub around the building. And this can support any type of operational goal that you may have. Again, it could be building performance, could be engaging tenants, whatever those goals are, but bringing together all of the systems that you may have, joining that information to make it actionable. And then, this is where I think personally it gets really interesting, is being able to create custom solutions on top of this information resource. So we're, again, not an out-of-the-box software company, but we take that information strategy, we build tailored solutions that help you achieve your objectives and give you intelligence and insights and make you more competitive at the end of the day. So at a high level, that's what a digital twin is. Now let's talk about some of the things that you can do with it, right? Now I don't have time to go into the details here. I do want to leave some time for the actual demo itself, but at a high level, we see our clients driving a lot of value from our services and technology in a really wide range of areas. These first couple of bullets, just the visibility that we give owners during design and construction is amazing. And it helps them understand the progress, what's happening with the models. It helps them drive down costs and reduce delays. You know, by being there, by being engaged as an information manager, we're able to facilitate coordination and communication amongst the project team between design and construction, and just really drive down costs and delay from the capital point of view. Now, streamlining handover, that's the scenario that I'm going to go into in detail in the demo, so I'm not going to dwell on that here. But then the digital building manual, almost all of our clients start with this. This is the digital building manual solution helps them with maintenance and operation. It brings together all the data they need for the equipment in the building, the spaces, and is also that foundation, that starting point for the custom solutions that we talked about. Now, what are those types of custom solutions? Where do you go from there? beyond those immediate value props, there's a number of solutions that our clients tend to pursue. These are just 4 examples, but the key is that during our information strategy consulting, we're gonna work with you to identify the issues that are most critical to you and then create a plan for going after those. Also, one thing that I think is really important to note, and we've gotten this feedback from a lot of our clients, is that they really see what we're doing as a platform for continuous improvement. They don't feel like they're locked in to solving one problem or doing one thing, but by leveraging the flexibility of our platform and leveraging the ability to extend the information, they're able to create new solutions and realize new opportunities as their needs evolve and their situation evolves. Okay, so for the demo, I know that's a lot to get your arms around, and I know I also only have 30 minutes, so I want to move into the demo and focus on one solution, and that is going to be the digital twin for Handover. Basically, how do we help our clients get a new development up and running and into our platform? Now, certainly we can work with existing buildings as well, not a problem, but this is a good example of how we combine strategy, technology, and execution. All right. So we work with you as a client to create the plan for the project team, how they're going to deliver the information. We provide the tools to the project team, and as information managers and as your representative on the project, we support them and make sure that you're getting the outcome, the data and the documents that you expect. So just a couple more slides, I promise, and we're going to get into the product. But I thought it would be good to set up the scenario here of what we're going to be accomplishing. So in this case, we're looking at Handover. We're the maintenance planner on the operations side, and we want to get ready for this building to go live. We want to have all of our plans up and ready. So how does this process work? And this is just super high level. Of course, we are engaged at the outset, working with you to define the data requirements. We set up the tools, train and support the project team. Then I'm going to switch over and, as the owner, take a look at some of the models and the data. And I'm going to be focused on just air handlers in this scenario. If you want to do a deeper dive demo, of course, you can reach out to us. My email will be up on the end of the presentation. Happy to do that and do a one-on-one demo that's more interactive and less of a monologue. But in this case, in the interest of time and focus, we're going to just be looking at the air handling units and the data required for maintaining those pieces of equipment. So we'll look at that from the owner's point of view. Then we're going to switch to the MEP's point of view. Again, this is a collaborative process, and they are responsible for providing the data. Show how they can QA and QC their own data. They can gather and enter it, and then ultimately back to the owner to look at some reporting and how we get data out and get it into maybe a maintenance management system to do the maintenance planning. Okay, so starting from the top, what do the data requirements look like? They're going to look something like this. So we sit down with your internal team, your maintenance folks, your external maintenance vendors, your suppliers, and we'll identify what data is required. Now, we also have a number of templates. I guarantee you, if you choose to engage with us, we have probably seen just about every piece of equipment you're going to have in your building. So we bring some templates to the table to help kickstart the conversation. But in a document similar to this, we are going to identify exactly what data is required, when it's required, and who is responsible for delivering it. Is it the architect? Is it the MEP engineer? Is it the commissioning agent or the MEP contractor? So really map out a plan. And what we also tend to do is we tend to have milestones by that roughly work around the project phase that identify when that data should be delivered. So for Handover, one of the things you definitely don't want to do is wait till the end of the project to try to gather the data, because that's a recipe for disaster. Now, Handover isn't just data, and our platform isn't just a data platform. We can also manage all of the documents that are required for this particular type of asset, right? So whether it's commissioning test results, commissioning certificate, plans, specification, O&M manuals. We can identify required documents and again, make sure, just like the data, make sure that everyone's providing them. Okay, so with that, I think we've set the stage enough. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to show you a product that's built on our platform. And this is how we start to create a digital twin, is by using BIM Assure to get the models and the data from design and construction, or from an existing building. We could gen that up as well too. But in this case, we're working on a new project, and we're going to use BIM Assure to work with the project team to get that data that we need. Okay. So starting out as the owner, I might have multiple projects, but I'm going to we're going to be working on the Charleston Square project today. Now, inside the project, you see there's several project teams. Okay. Why is this? Well, it is a collaborative system, but we also have team spaces for people to focus on the stuff that they need to focus on. A building like this, you know, could be the dozen, 2 dozen, maybe even more firms involved, each one with their own modeling, their own model. So it can get messy pretty quickly. So this keeps things clean. It also helps each firm integrate this process into their QA/QC so that they are delivering the data properly when they need to be delivering it. Okay, so I'm going to go into the owner team space. And most owners like to keep it simple. They want to see one model with everything in there. It's called a federated model. It has all the disciplines, architectural, MEP, everything that you need. And I'm going to drill into that. So this first screen that you see, this is how we check the model data. So you'll notice there's several analyses here for air handling units. And each one is for a different milestone. So air handling unit milestone 1 has passed, it's green. Green is good. Milestone 2, we're still working on. So those, you know, obviously there's some data that we don't have. Milestone 3, same thing. So if you think about a building project and you think about building information, a project's a lot like a snowball rolling downhill. You start out, you don't know much about that building in early design. As design progresses, you know more. You know, this air handling unit, initially you may just have 3 things you're looking for. You want to know where it is in the building, what the unique identifier is, and that's it. But later on, as design progresses, you might want to get some of the operating characteristics, the inlet water temperature, whatever it might be, so that you can set a baseline for managing performance once the building is active. But the idea here is we have these different milestones, and that enables us to check at each milestone to see the progress of the team. So focusing on the air handlers, I'm going to click on View Issues, and this takes us into the model viewer. Now, BIM Assure has some special tools that sit on top of our digital twin, but this is essentially a digital twin in its infancy right here. We have the 3D model. It can be 2D, it can be just plan views, that's fine, or it could be just data as well. But in this case, we do have the model, and we're able to use that as a way of managing data and checking data, and that's what we're kind of focused on here. Now, because I came into the model viewer from an analysis, I'm seeing all of the rules that relate to air handling units. So this is all the data, and there's probably 30 or so rules that check model data. Maybe at this point, one of the things I'm working on as a maintenance planner, you know, one important thing is managing warranties and making sure that you don't void warranties or that work is done under warranty. You're not paying for work that you shouldn't. So one of the things that's critical for me are the warranty data points. And in this case, I can see that, hey, you know, at this point, my MEP guy has not quite yet gotten to entering in the warranty duration for these 2 air handlers on the roof. Okay, so at a glance, very easy to understand the progress of the design, the progress of the information, and if your deliverables are being met. That was the #1 thing that we talked about in the top 3 things. So this is how we do that with rules and analyses. Now, going back to my scenario real quickly, that was step 2. We were able to view the models, view the progress, and check on the completeness of the air handling data. Now, I'm going to switch back and look at this perspective from point of view of the MEP firm that's responsible for providing the data, okay? All right, so let's go back to the project, and now I'll go into the team space for the MEP firm, okay? Now here I'm not seeing the whole building, I'm just seeing the pieces that I care about, the pieces that I have to deliver, the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC. So these are the model pieces that I see as a modeler for the MEP firm, or as an engineer that's working in specifying equipment or entering performance data, that sort of thing. If I drill into this particular model, I can see here are the rules and analyses for this particular model, very similar to the ones that the owner saw. So this is important. Everybody is working off the same playbook here. The owner is checking the data. These rules that the MEP firm has when they log in are the same rules that the owner is using. Everyone is working towards the same goals, and it's crystal clear what needs to be delivered. Now, if I'm doing QA, QC of my own firm's work, I can come in and run these analyses, and this takes just a second, but it's basically going through the model and checking all of the data to make sure that my firm, my modelers, my engineers are entering the data that's required for my owner client. So we'll give that just a second. Now, if I drill in, we'll go ahead into the oops, sorry, I misclicked there. My apologies. Okay, if I drill in and look at this analysis, I can see the same sorts of things that my owner client was seeing, right? So here are some of the issues. Here's that warranty issue. And I can see that all four of these air handling units are having a problem here. Now I have a little bit more power than just than the owner does. And I have more responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. But I have to also enter in the warranty start date. So I can actually come in here and enter the data here. So maybe it's, 06, 25, 2019, and I can save that value. So it makes it very easy for me as an MEP firm or a data provider for you, the owner, to get the data in here that you're asking for. And even in the way that you need it, it gives you samples of what's required, all that good stuff, all the guidance that you need. Now, that's one way of getting data in there. What we're also finding is that a lot of the AEC firms that we work with are using BIM Assure as a way of getting the initial data in before they even do the QA, QC. And we have a capability called slices that helps with that. And I'm just going to do a real quick tour of this. So if I start out, I can see all the elements in my MEP model. Maybe I just want to work on the air handling units. So I can query the model. I can do what we call a slice, that when I open this up, it isolates just the elements I care about. And also, it just shows me the data that I care about. So for air handling units, I know the owner has specified these dozen or so properties, and it makes it very simple, very easy for me to meet those requirements, because I can come in here and I can actually edit the data right here in this grid if I need to. I can add comments, enter operations data, manufacturer model number, whatever it is that is required by the owner, okay? And then ultimately, I just publish this model back to the owner, and eventually once we, sometimes it takes a couple of iterations, but ultimately the owner gets the data they need, right? So at this point, and I think I've got just a few more minutes, I'm gonna show you very quickly our reporting capabilities. So now, let me go back to the slice where I have all of my maintainable assets. any data that is captured in BIM Assure can be synced back to the original models, or it can be exported out to Excel by running a report. So if I run an element report here, all I have to do is select the report that I want to run. In this case, I'm going to do a CMMS data export and hit run. I can do some notifications and neat stuff like that to let people know that the report's available. But at this point, I've run the report. Oops. Sorry, I must have misclicked there. I've run that report, and all the reports stay available in the system. They're available as in the attachments list, and you can see here's the report that I ran. So I'm going to go ahead and download that, and then I'll switch over to Excel. Okay, so here is all of that data, and basically, again, these columns are the same columns we saw in the rules, the same we saw in the slices, the same that were identified in the information strategy at the very front end of the project, okay? So this is the data that's required for maintenance management, and it's all right here and ready to go straight into the CMMS. And just a quick side note, we just finished a project exactly like this for a major research facility in downtown Seattle. They were able to get all of their data from design and construction, everything they needed, into their CMMS several months before occupancy, so that they could start their maintenance planning, get the jobs, all the job plans ready, all the materials lined up, you know, whatever, resources, do their sourcing for maintenance providers. Everything was under control and ready to go, even before they took occupancy of the building. So that is basically it. And I think we've got maybe 5 more minutes for questions.
Yeah, thanks, Marty.
So,
yeah, well, anyone who has a question, please use the Q&A or the chat feature, and we'll get those going. Just a reminder to everybody, people who've joined late, or we will be sending out a recording of all 4 of our presentations by the end of the week, with contact information and information about any of the special offers our participants are offering. So do look for that email so you can take a peek at whatever you missed or want to review again. Marty, I'm not seeing any questions, so last call. Oh, here we go. Any integration or interoperability with other systems?
Yes, absolutely. So other systems is kind of a broad term, but I'll break it down into 2 main groups. One group would be the design tools that that the project teams use, you know, during design and construction. So we have obviously integration with Revit, but we can also get data from a very wide range of authoring tools by using a format that's called IFC. I know that's a little weedy for some people. Then on the operational side, the integration, so the platform, and just go back to the slide a little bit. Let me go back up to this slide. So we have a number of APIs that allow us to share data and transform it from one system to another. So we can actually aggregate multiple data sources, transform the data so that it's consistent and usable, either for one of our digital twin solutions or to pass it on to another product to be used there. So, you know, for example, you know, we could potentially get an update from a CMMS that a particular asset has been replaced, and maybe send that over to an asset management system for, you know, capital planning or CapEx tracking purposes or what have you, if necessary.
I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Marty and
Yeah.
Invicara. Appreciate you guys joining us.